Hello. How are you? Today it's a different scenery. I'm actually at the Frank Lauren having a coffee break with Casey. And so who's online? So today's topic that I want to share, it says, don't let it control you. Hi, Eric. So, don't let what control you, right? So I guess the question is, what is it? What is it? I think a lot of times we want to do something. We want to do something, right? So we exercise. You want to achieve your goal. You want to get something done. You have a plan. So, right? And we go off and we go do it, right? We go do what we need to do. And yeah, we get it done. And sometimes we don't, right? So, and I think that so the question is, why can't we achieve some of the things we want to achieve? And of course, I've talked about that many times in previous videos. And it's either motivation, lack of motivation, which is like lazy, or maybe procrastination. Do it later. We'll do it later. Maybe a fear that means, I'm afraid, so that's a big one. Or maybe I don't know how to do it. Right? I don't know how to do it. So I think it boils down to a few things, like fear is a big one, and then of course lack of motivation is another, right? Because if there's something that you don't want to do, but if I give you like $2 million to do it, you don't want $2 million. That's a lot of motivation, right? So you would go and do it, right? Of course, not all the time we do something because we get $2 million or even $1 million, right? So, and most of the times because we don't equate what we do with a certain value, so we don't do it, right? But there's something else. That may stop us from achieving the things we want to achieve. And sometimes we don't know that it is already controlling us. It's like we're not aware that it's part of our habit. Hi, Felicia. So sometimes we want to do something, we don't do it, and then we end up having lots of excuses, right? Now, of course, excuses can be like, I don't know how to do it, I don't have the time to do it, I don't have the money to do it, it's not important, and of course a bunch of other excuses, okay? So, but this is what I want to talk about that will stop us, that controls us, is something that it's even harder to control, because it's so part of us already that sometimes we're not aware that it's in control. Okay, I'm giving an example. Okay, I'm coming with an example. You might be like, what is Willing talking about today? Too much coffee? Maybe. I would just. So, for example, do you realize sometimes when you need to go somewhere, when you need to do something, and right before you need to do it, you have a headache. Or you might have a stomach pain. Or you might have some physical challenge that occurs right before the thing that you need to do, right? For example, hi James. So for example, sometimes you want to you know, you wake up in the morning and then you with okay, James is here, so you know there's a hiking trip, right? And you wake up in the morning and then and you know there's a hiking trip the next day, so you wake up, but you don't want to go, right? Somehow you have a fever, somehow you have a headache, somehow you know you have a cough coming, and and you don't go, right? And you don't go, right? And how many of you know what I'm talking about? Something that it's important that you need to do, but just when you're supposed to do it, something happens, some physical bodily pain happens to you, and for that reason you don't do it. But you would say, but Willie, of course, you know, you have a headache, you shouldn't do it. I mean, if you have fever, then you shouldn't do it, right? But I think a lot of times this pain that happens sometimes can be self initiated. Yeah, you know, if there are certain things we don't want to do, our body kind of reacts and creates a situation that conveniently helps you to avoid doing it. Hi, Thomas. And this is actually quite true. It's not quite true. Let me give an example how it could have developed. So, for example, if you start to, you know, if you start to, you know, fall sick or something, right, and you start to, you know, people would say, "Oh, you're sick. Oh, okay, if you're sick, then you know, go and rest. Go and rest. You don't have to do this. Go ahead and rest. It's okay." Hi, Akal. So go ahead and rest. Don't do this. So inside you say, "Oh, okay. Well, if I'm sick, people will tell me to go and rest, and if I rest, I don't have to do what I need to do, isn't it?" So if you and so that kind of, you know, you don't get sick once, you kind of get sick, you know. Then when you start to realize that there's a pattern, that when you don't feel good, you don't have to do something, and over some time you tend to enjoy that process of, well, if I'm sick, I don't have to do anything, or if I'm coughing, I don't have to talk. Well, if I have a headache, I don't have to do that. So for long periods of time, your body is used to this thing, which I called, or you know, I read a book once called pain body, and this pain body exists in us that creates that reasoning so that you don't have to do what you don't want to do, right? And the thing I want to say is that if we are so comfortable with this pain body happening, we end up not achieving what we want to achieve, because it becomes a very convenient reason to not do something. So for example, if I were to ask you to give a speech or go and talk, you know, you're kind of scared about it. You would somehow, you know, before going up stage, you notice this when you see people going up stage, prior to going up stage, when they are not used to going up stage. They'll do things like and it happened right then. It didn't happen an hour ago. It happened right then when they're supposed to go on stage. It's their body's reaction, you know, to create a reason that they don't have to go up. And so that's a small example of it. Of course, when this thing becomes a habit and becomes, you know, it consumes you, then of course it can develops into bigger things like fever, cough, stomach ache, and physically it does pain, it does hurt. And what I'm trying to say is that if you physically are sick, you better go and see a doctor. I'm not saying ignore it, but we gotta watch out this thing called pain body, and kind of check in if if it happens on a habitual basis. It's hard to catch because we're so used to it. It's automatic. It lives in us that we it's like of course I get a Panadol whenever I have a headache. I get Panadol. Of course when I have a headache I don't do anything. Because I can't, right? Because it hurts. I can't. So it becomes very convenient. And I'm just saying that just check in on yourself the next time when you're supposed to do something and this thing happens. Be aware about it. Check if it's really something that you may need to see a doctor to get cured or something. Or is it your body's way to help you avoid doing what you're supposed to do? Okay? And I'm kind of aware about this, especially in my kids, and I kind of make sure that if my kid is like, oh, I can't do it because it hurts, then I kind of question that and to clarify between, does it really hurt or is it because you don't want to go and do it? Because I don't want them to build it into a habit that, oh, because I have a headache and I'm not going to do it because of a headache. And we have to be careful with that because again, from young it will grow up to be a habit that they will use. And I'm not saying that I don't do that too, but I realize that it does hold on to certain people and prevents them from getting things done. So that's what I mean by don't let it control you. And it meaning the term called pain body. That is the part of our body that that hurts, or that we use it as a reason for not doing something. Oh, I have a headache. Oh, then I don't have to go to school. Oh, I have flu, so I don't have to do that. And again, if you do have that, go see a doctor. But if you don't, and it's just because a reason to avoid doing something, then take note of that, okay? Because that could be the reason why you're not achieving the things that you want to achieve, because that automatic reaction of your body is holding you back. All right? Hi, James. Sorry, I kind of missed what you just said. I used to have flu every month when I was running. Hey, it's an auto thing, and the moment I recover and start again, I get flu again. It could be. And one day I decided to just run with the flu, and after a while I never got flu again. Cool. That's awesome, James. And guys, let me just introduce James as an awesome leader. He's I think expert mountain climber, and there's a lot of experience and wisdom in what he just said. So yeah, that's a great example for all of us. So take note, don't let it control you. Monitor yourself, see the pattern, and ask yourself, are you avoiding something, or that you don't really want to go? And don't let this pain body consume you. Okay? Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Maybe share it with somebody who maybe has this kind of situation or habit, and definitely let them be aware about this. Okay? So I hope that you are able to achieve all the things that you want to achieve. And with that, I'll see you in the next video in a couple of days. All right. Thank you everybody for joining in. Hi, Wendy. Hi, Jay. Hi, Cicely. Now, take care. Bye-bye.